I'm Jonah Comstock, Editor-in-Chief of PharmaForum. I'm here on the sidelines of JP Morgan 2024 in San Francisco, and I'm joined by Frank Gleeson, the CEO of Satellos. Frank, thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So tell me a little bit about Satellos, what you do, and what you're focusing on this week at JP Morgan.
Sure. Well, thank you. So Satellos Bioscience is a drug discovery company, and our goal is to change the world. So our aim is to develop new drugs that will change the treatment paradigm for a disease called Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a fatal disease. It's a genetic disease. It affects mostly boys, and it robs them of their muscles and ultimately of their lives. And we've made a discovery that we believe is profoundly important and can change the course of the lives of these young people as their disease progresses. So we're developing a drug that will enable their muscles to regenerate. And in doing so, we hope that we will help them to stay out of wheelchairs for a much longer period of time, maybe forever, and ultimately change what they're able to do, how they're able to function.
So how does it work? What's the mechanism of action?
So the mechanism of action is that we have discovered, my scientific colleague and I, Dr. Michael Rudnicki, who is a co-founder along with me, we've discovered that because of the genetic nature of this disease, a gene called dystrophin is mutated. And a protein that's made by the gene called dystrophin is absent. Because of its absence, it affects the ability of the muscle stem cells that live within the fibers of these children's bodies to properly create new muscle. And it can't regenerate. So this is potentially one of these earth-shattering and groundbreaking discoveries that can literally change medical history. And so what we've done is designed a pill that acts on those stem cells to correct the problem and give them back the ability to divide and create new muscle cells.
That's really interesting. A lot of times when you hear about stem cells, gene therapy, it's not a pill. It's a kind of complex treatment. So how does that work?
Yeah, so it's based on a different perspective that Michael and I have and have had for many, many years. We've worked together for over 20 years. It's based on a perspective, when we look at the body, what we've tried to think about is how can we help the body correct itself? Conventionally, what gene therapy and what cell therapy think about is how can we take cells out of the body, fix them, put them back, or how can we take entirely new cells or gene products and put them into the body to replace something that's not there. We've looked at it differently and said, what if we could correct the problem at source? What if we could design a pill that would be easy to take once a day and would give the body back its ability to do what it's supposed to do and wants to do? And so that's been the basis of our thinking, our kind of scientific gestalt, if you will, for how we've gone about developing Satellos.
So how far along are you? Are you still preclinical? What's the roadmap?
We are about to begin clinical development. So by the middle of this year, we will initiate our very first ever human clinical trial to assess the safety of our drug compound, which we expect will be safe, but of course we have to prove that first. And then from there, we will go into patients approximately a year from now.
And are you looking to partner with larger pharma to expand the reach of this, or what does the roadmap there look like?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and one that we think about a lot. So we're generating a lot of interest now from the pharma world. What we're thinking is that this has the potential to be so revolutionary that we would like to hold on to this and take it a little bit further before selling it off to a big company. But there's certainly a lot of interest in what we're doing. So we'll have plenty of options for thinking about how the best way to reach patients will be.
And just to kind of step back a little bit, I mean, at this conference, we talk a lot about trends, we look into the future. Right. It seems like the smaller biotechs folks that I've spoken to are really optimistic about 2024 in terms of the funding opportunities, the deal-making opportunities. I mean, is that how you see it?
Yes. Well, in one sense, it's hard to be in biotech if you're not an optimist, because it is a challenging field. Lots of things go wrong on a regular basis. And we've had a few rough years. Certainly, we've had a few rough years. The hardest years in my experience in the field, which goes back 30 years now. This year, it seems we're starting off with a lot more general optimism, a lot more buoyancy, a lot more feeling that markets are coming back, interest is coming back, and I hope that bears out. But our goal is to develop our program regardless of whether the markets are responding favorably or not. That's how you have to kind of work as an entrepreneur and as a biotech executive.
And I appreciated your intro was immediately about the patients, focused on the people that you're trying to help, which I think is really important to keep.
Well, it's the most important thing we could ever do, is help a patient. And you help one person, as some say, you help all of mankind.
Well, thank you so much, Frank. It's great chatting with you.
Okay, nice chatting with you. Thanks for your time and your interest.
Good luck at the show.
Okay, thank you.